Welcome to the Masterfesto Podcast. Get ready to be inspired as you get all the tools and secrets on how to master your mind by the mental master herself. She's a speaker, inspirational coach, and author. Here's your host, Isabel Elias, the Queen of Inspiration.
Thank you, and welcome to my podcast, Mastering Your Mind. You're listening to episode 3 on Mastering the Art of Happiness. Yes, happiness is an art. All art is an expression. Happiness is an expression. I'll go into more detail later about happiness as an expression. In the last episode, you learned how unnecessary long-term suffering shuts down our happiness, our ability to create, affects our overall health and the quality of our life. In this episode, I will hone in on happiness as an art form. If you're still listening, I'll assume that happiness is important to you. Here's what you can expect from my episodes on Mastering Your Mind. The episodes will be once a week on Tuesday for about 30 minutes. Now, forgive me if I go over or under the 30 minutes. Still a work in progress when it comes to this podcasting business. During these episodes, I'm going to give you all I've got. And if you get one takeaway, one golden nugget from my episode, I will be happy. I recommend that you listen once. And then you listen again so you can take notes. I'm going to share some good stuff with you. And I will share some great quotes from people I admire, like Martin Luther King, Maya Angelou, Les Brown, and more. And by the way, I will have guests for you at times. So, what is happiness? I asked a few people this question. This is what I got. Happiness is a state of being. Happiness is a creativity booster. Happiness is a fleeting emotion. Happiness is a good feeling inside. True happiness is more than just emotion. Happiness is a feeling that comes and goes. Happiness is pleasure. Matthew Ricard, a Buddhist monk, is known as the happiest man in the world. He says, happiness is a way of being. The challenge is to let that way of being overtake all other emotional states. My definition of happiness. But before I get to my definition, I want to know your definition. What is your definition of happiness? You can complete this sentence. Happiness is. Now, my definition of happiness comes from the many years of studying the mind. If you get this, it could change your whole perception on happiness. It could create a breakthrough. Here's a golden nugget. Happiness is an art. Happiness is the expression of joy. Joy is who we are. It's our soul, our inner being. And happiness serves as feedback, an internal system that provides information about what's happening or what's about to happen. As joy is a state of being, happiness is a state of mind. Now, happiness can be intentional and strategic. Happiness requires personal growth and development. Just as the artist studies a skill and develops it, happiness must be studied and developed. If you want to be skilled at anything, you have to work at it. Work at happiness to mastery. Then you'll live a life of happiness. As you begin to experience the joy that lives within, you will find that you are happy most of the time, and you have the possibility of being happy all the time. Working on this doesn't mean fake it till you make it, and it doesn't mean work hard at being happy. It also doesn't mean that you can only be happy if you get rid of all your problems. Here's a golden nugget. Once you master the art of happiness, Your happiness will go beyond any medical diagnosis, a breakup, loss of money, or any other obstacles and circumstances or challenges. Now, happiness doesn't just feel good. It's good for you. It will boost your immune system and help you endure better pain. It will boost your creativity. It can help you develop greater self-control and coping skills, better relationships, and a fulfilling social life. A Mayo Clinic study found that happy people live longer. Who doesn't want to live longer? I know I do. Researchers found that happy people are more likely to be married and stay married. Happier people are more satisfied with their jobs. A study of 272 workers over 18 months showed that the happier people got better job evaluations and higher pay. Young children have a better connection to happiness because they instinctively know their inner being. After my parents divorced, we lost our house and moved to the government housing projects of Los Angeles. And my mother had to work 2 jobs just to keep me and my little brother fed and clothed. We were poor. But I didn't know that. I thought I was the luckiest and happiest person in the world. I had my best friend, my brother, and lots of kids to watch me perform. I had a full audience. I dressed up in my mother's evening clothes, put on a show for my fans. I felt like the world-famous dancer there in the projects of L.A. I also asked people, what does make you happy? And these are the responses I got. I am most happy when my children are happy. I am most happy when my loved ones are safe and happy. I am most happy when I feel loved. I am happy because I feel complete. When are you most happy? What makes you happy? For myself, I am most happy when I can make a difference. This is why I do what I do. Here's a golden nugget. There is a distinction between happiness and pleasure. Chasing pleasure is a subconscious motivation. It's our mechanism to chase pleasure and avoid pain. We are programmed to chase pleasure and avoid pain from birth. Now, this is worth repeating. Again, golden nugget. There is a distinction between happiness and pleasure. Chasing pleasure is a subconscious motivation. It's our mechanism to chase pleasure and avoid pain. Through the process of chasing pleasure and avoiding pain, we develop habitual, unhappy characteristics. We become perfectionists, procrastinators, grudge holders, whiners and complainers, victims, enablers, people pleasers. Which characteristic did you develop? Tell the truth. It will set you free. And remember, it's not personal. It started when you were born. You're not responsible for it. It's part of being human. Don't beat yourself up for this. Your subconscious developed the characteristic. This should be good news for you. Now, you see, for me, most of the time, I'm a people pleaser. Yeah, I want people to like me. But I can also be a whiner and complainer when I don't get my way. All right, are you ready? Let's get to work on this happiness skill. You start the practice of happiness by giving generously of yourself and uplifting people. Give of yourself without expecting anything in return, and you will experience a happiness that you didn't even know was possible. Your heart gets full of love, and that expression touches the love that is within. And then, let go of your ego. Allow yourself to be childlike. Be curious like a child. Smile a lot. Have fun. Be playful. Surround yourself with other happy people and develop a sense of humor. Laughing out loud. A good belly laugh releases happy brain chemicals. Now, the poem by Minister Robert Falcom is the perfect happiness skill development. All I ever really needed to know, I learned in kindergarten. That's the title of the poem. Most of what I really need to know about how to live and what to do and how to be, I learned in kindergarten. Wisdom was not on the top of graduate school mountain, but there in the sandbox of nursery school. These are the things that I learned. Share everything. Play fair. Don't hit people. Put things back where you found them. Clean up your mess. Don't take things that aren't yours. Say you're sorry when you hurt somebody. Wash your hands before you eat. Flush. Warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. Live a balanced life. Learn some and think some and draw and paint and sing and dance and play and work every day some. Take a nap every afternoon. When you go out into the world, watch for traffic. Hold hands and stick together. Be aware of wonder. Remember the little green seed in the plastic cup? The roots go down and the plant goes up, and nobody really knows how or why. But we are all like that. Goldfish and hamsters and white mice and even the little seed in the plastic cup. They all die. So do we. And then remember the book about Dick and Jane and the first word you learn. The biggest word of all, look. Everything you need to know is in there somewhere. The golden rule and love and basic sanitation, ecology and politics and sane living. Think of what a better world it would be if we all, the whole world, had cookies and milk at 3 o'clock every afternoon and then laid down with our blanket for a nap. Or if we had a basic policy in our nation and other nations to always put things back where we found them and cleaned up our own messes. And it's still true. No matter how old you are, when you go out into the world, it is best to hold hands and stick together. So wonderful. I just love that poem. Always lean towards a positive. That's important. That's a real important skill. Lean towards a positive. Stay open and let go of skepticism. Be less critical of yourself and others. Confront your negative emotions. Acknowledge your disappointments. Take the necessary action and let go. Use all negative feelings as a red flag. This is a motivation to change your behavior. Now be honest even when it's uncomfortable. Stick up for yourself. No victims here. Cultivate resilience and learn to bounce back from failures. As the Japanese proverb goes, fall 7 times and stand up 8. Enjoy every momentary indulgences that are personally rewarding and celebrate hard-earned accomplishments. And give attention to the smaller victories, too. Remember to express gratitude. Appreciate what you have. Devote time and money to good causes. Live your purpose. Stay present. Stay focused. And immerse yourself in an activity that is challenging, invigorating, and meaningful. Get in the flow. Also, this is interesting. Spend money on other people. A study published in a science magazine found that spending money on other people has a more direct impact on happiness than spending money on oneself. Make physical fitness a priority. Go outside. Just a 20-minute dose of fresh air promotes happiness. Music. Music is powerful on developing happiness. And have your personal sacred time. Unplug and reflect. These are very important skills to master if you want to be happy most of the time or better all of the time. I know it's a lot, but believe me, it's worth the time and effort. You'll see your life change right in front of you. You'll be unrecognizable to yourself. Don't cheat yourself out of happiness. Practice all the skills. Be sure to write them down. Have them somewhere visible and set reminders. And remember to practice, practice, practice. Now, things might come up during your happiness skill development. You might start comparing yourself to another. Stop! No one compares to you. You are special and unique. And you might have limiting beliefs. Let those go. They don't serve you. Oh, and fear might show up. Remember, fear is an unconscious emotion. Let it go. It doesn't mean anything. Ooh, what about those shoulds? Those shoulds will show up like, oh, I should know better. Or I should do better. Or this should be easier. Stop shoulding all over the place. Clean up your shoulds. Thank you for listening. I hope that I was able to give you something to take away, something that will fill your life with happiness and find yourself happy most of the time. Even better, happy all of the time. I look forward to our next episode on Mastering Your Mind. Visit my website, masterfesto.com, and check out my books. Check out my book on affirmations. You'll find a plethora of affirmations on happiness. If you want to send me a personal message, drop me an email, isabel@masterfesto.com. Please like, comment on your takeaway from this episode, and ask at least 3 of your friends to listen to my podcast and subscribe. That is very important. Thank you. Until next week, I leave you with an affirmation from my book. Repeat this affirmation. Everything I want and need and desire flows happily through me.